Morning. Thank you for joining us to hear information about the construction of the new OCPS Elementary School in Horizon West across the street from Horizon High School. It's set to open in August of this year. A few housekeeping notes about how this meeting will work. Attendees are automatically muted with cameras off. Please do use the Q&A tool to ask questions. You can ask questions at any time, but we will not address your question until the end of the meeting. After the presentation, we'll have a Q&A portion. The chat is available as a backup if you can't get your Q&A to work, but please direct any questions for the panel to the Q&A. Freddie, if you could advance the slide. We have online here with us today a wide variety of panelists who are available to answer questions. I'll be introducing them shortly. If you have any technical issues with WebEx tonight, you can reach their support team directly at 1-866-229-3239, then option 2 and option 1. I've also dropped this phone number into the chat. The meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the OCPS Facilities Communications YouTube page, as well as sent out as a link to anyone who registered for tonight. The presentation slides are posted at facilities.ocps.net, and they're also posted on board member Pam Gould's page at ocps.net under School Board. Today, we're going to hear about the construction progress and hear from your new principal. But before we get started, let's turn to your District 4 board member Pam Gould for some opening remarks.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this construction update. Another exciting school on the docket, and I will look forward to hearing the discussion. And without further ado, I want to turn it back. I will have to leave for a meeting with the city of Ocoee tonight, so if we're not done by 6 o'clock, I know that Kelly King is on the line and will be listening for questions that we may need to follow up on. But thank you. And with that, let me turn it back to our presenters.
Great. Thank you, Pam. And Kelly works with Pam. And so if there are any questions that are school board member questions, Kelly will be writing them down. So we also have on the line Executive Area Director Wendy Ivory, representing the West Learning Community, which this school is in. I will be introducing soon. And let me see if we have other principals online. This list. Okay, I don't see any. So the architect for this project is BRPH. We have Francisco on the line from BRPH in case there are any questions for the architect. The construction team for this project, the company who's building the school, is Williams Company, and Freddie Torres is on the call, and he's actually going to be our main presenter tonight since the project is under construction at this point. Most of what you're going to hear is going to be from his side of the house. The traffic engineer for this project is Avcon. Clint Pletzer is on the line, and he is with Avcon representing them tonight. The civil engineer for the project is Klima Weeks. Jay Klima is with us tonight. From OCPS, the facility side of the house, just looking to see who is on the line. I see we have Christopher Mills, who is with our planning department. The project management side of the house, so what they do is they bring OCPS together with the architect and the construction manager. So the project manager for this particular project is Tamara Cox, and she is on the line. We also have from OCPS Police, Commander Jamie Alberti. From transportation, we have Adam Zubritsky. If I see anybody else hop on the line from OCPS, I will introduce them later. We also work very closely with our government representatives, and I know Commissioner Wilson said you might hop on, and we definitely have Christina Pichardo Cruz on the line, who's a really important partner. She's with Orange County, and they oversee all the things to do with traffic and sidewalks around schools. So I'm glad she is on the line. And so now, without any further ado, I'm going to turn things over to your new principal, Christine Szymanski.
Hi, good evening. My name is Christine Szymanski, and I am the new principal for Site 114. And I have to say, this has been just the most exciting few weeks that I've had, and I'm super excited to be part of the community. So just to give you a little bit of update, one of the first things they asked me to do was to work on a school name. So with some input from the community, We did go ahead and put together a ballot that was sent out to our feeder schools to create well, we put together a ballot first of all, and then we voted on those 3 names. So what they came up with, we packaged them together. We have Panther Lake Elementary with a mascot that would potentially be the panther, with school colors of royal blue, black, and silver. The second option was Horizon Elementary with the mascot of a heron, and our colors would be garnet, gray, and white. And then the last one was Hawkside Elementary, the Hawkside Ayas. And if you're not familiar with what an Aya is a baby hawk. And as you know, our school will sit close to, if not right side by side, Horizon High School. So they thought that would be a good potential mascot, would be an Aya or a baby hawk, with the colors being red, yellow, and orange. So we put that out for a vote, and actually with about 51% of the vote, the community really liked Panther Lake Elementary with the mascot of the panther. So we're going to go ahead and put that together and submit it to the school board. These 3 options with the community's vote for Panther Lake Elementary for board approval. That will happen in April. So hopefully by that time, we will go ahead and have an official school name. Aside from that, I have been diligently meeting with the other principals from the feeder schools. I've been visiting those sites to learn more about the students, and I have been doing multiple interviews to get our staff hired. And I have to tell you, we have some of the best teachers in Orange County, and I am trying to scoop them all up and have them here for our school. But aside from that, we are really just moving right along in terms of getting our staff hired. And again, super excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Principal Szymanski. So now you're going to hear a presentation from Freddie Torres with Williams Company. And if you're just hopping on now, you can put questions into the Q&A tool, and we will answer those at the end of the presentation.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Principal Szymanski. As Lauren mentioned, my name is Freddie Torres. I am with Williams Company, and I am the project manager for the construction side of things with the project. And in general, I'm going to be going over kind of 3 main areas. Just going to go over the overview of the location of the site, dig into the basic design of the project, and then dig into a lot of the construction aerial photos and ground photos of what we have completed thus far since the project began. Starting with a kind of really overall view of the area, the project is located in the Horizon West area, just east of 429. It's also intended to be the relief school for Water Spring Elementary School, Summer Lake Elementary School, and Castleview Elementary School. Zooming in a little bit further, here is the project site a little bit closer up. As Lauren mentioned, it is just north of Horizon High School, also located to the south of Orange County National Golf Course and west of the Disney World area. Again, digging in a little bit even further, here's a couple layouts of both Horizon High School, which this aerial is a little bit dated since Horizon High School was completed, and some of these communities have also been mostly completed since then. Here is the Site 114 location and layout, just north of Seidel Road, and also kind of just west of Summer Lake Grove Street, and also nestled in the corner of Lakeshore community. Again, just a little bit further digging in north on this slide here is to the right. Again, the layout for Horizon High School, and here's Site 114 just north on the other side of Seidel Road. And finally, digging into the site plan itself for Site 114. I mentioned it is just north of Seidel Road and west of Summer Lake Grove Street. The project will have 2 main entrances, one off of both off of Summer Lake Grove Street, the parent loop, which will include the queuing for all the parents along here. That queuing is actually for 200, will allow for 250 cars to queue on site. And additionally, will include 133 parking spaces for the school. And that school will have a capacity of roughly 837 students. It is about approximately just over 94,000 square feet. It's a two-story classroom building. The classroom section here is on the north side of the building and is in this U shape here, with the single point of entry into the admin area located here where the pointer is pointing now, with admin being on the north side and the dining and kind of multi-purpose area rooms to the south of that entrance. Additionally, just pointing out some areas along the site. There is a pedestrian, or there will be, excuse me, a pedestrian entrance with a gate and sidewalk over to the Lakeshore community. Additionally, there's been a covered area designed with a canopy extending all the way back to the building, and a covered canopy at that, with a couple hard courts, a large multi-purpose field, and also included is a youth lot and tot lot, the playgrounds for the younger students at the school. Did not mention also the southern entrance, which is the bus loop side. And here there will be enough queuing for 17 buses at this entrance. All right, the project is designed to meet the Green Globe Sustainable Building Standards. And I'll just mention a couple of points to that effect of the design. Some with the site, it is designed with some native and low water plants, and that helps reduce the water consumption for the project, as well as low impact design, affecting the storm water design on that aspect. In the building, it's designed with high efficiency chillers. It's included Energy Star rated equipment, and it also has water saving fixtures, toilets and faucets as well. And also it's a fully automated building control system where as long as the building, or excuse me, the classrooms aren't occupied, it depends on whether the lighting is on or off, as well as the air conditioning and systems as well. Here is a rendering of what the entrance will look like at the end of the project that the design team has put together. And digging into the schedule of the project, just in really basic form, the design and permitting and bidding has already occurred, started way back in August of 2020. Construction actually started towards the end of June and early July. Currently, we're roughly 40–50% of the project now. And it's still on schedule to be completed in June of 2022, which will allow roughly a couple months for admin and OCPS to get all the furniture and everybody moved in preparation for the upcoming school year in August of 2022. To mention some of the milestones that we've already achieved and some that we are hitting here in the near future. As I mentioned, we did start in June of 2021. The tilt panels, which consist of the concrete walls that are actually formed, and I'll show you some pictures of that later, horizontally on the ground and then tilted up into place, was completed in October. The structural steel that then ties all those walls together was completed in December of 2021. And here in March, we have a couple milestones coming up, which is the roofing will completely be enclosed, and power startup by the end of March is expected and scheduled, as well as the HVAC startup, which is the air conditioning system, in April, which will allow our finishes to continue and be completed for the project. And as I mentioned, achieving our certificate of occupancy or completion in the summer of this year. Here, kind of our construction and accessibility of the project and how we had laid it out for construction. The primary construction entrance was located where the bus loop will end up being, and that's where our job site trailers currently still are, and where we manage the bulk of the project from. We did develop some construction access roads around the entire site. Those were also utilized for the crane that tilted and lifted up those walls into place for the project. The main construction parking is on the west side, and that actually by the end of this month will be shifting to the actual parking areas on the north side of the project. All the fencing and perimeter fencing is in place, and two main gates are locked every night when construction is not taking place. Some of the items that I mentioned or construction activities that are upcoming are the parking areas, which will include all the road base, the concrete curbs, and all the permanent perimeter fencing being done in this March, as well as the thing being fully enclosed, all the windows, the roofing being completed, and all the exterior doors as well. That'll allow us to transition here into April for having the air conditioning system start up and get our finishes, which include cleaning, cabinets, and ceilings to be constructed as well. So I'm going to go into a batch of aerial photos starting at the beginning of the project, and here's one from July, where you can see the area was cleared by this time. All the perimeter fencing and the best management practices to control any debris and storm off the site or keep and maintain it onto the site was installed, and our construction entrance and in preparation for our construction work area was established as well. By August, we had established all the construction roads around the site to ease access and get going on all the foundations for the project. By September, you can see here in yellow the foundation waterproofing being installed in preparation to pour the concrete for the slab on grade, which is basically the floor of the building being installed. Our laydown area was now established with all the major trades, and we had also established both entrances, and this allowing for ease access for all the trucks and whatnot to come in on one side and exit the other, eliminating a lot of the needs to back up any trucks on the project. Moving forward, by October, we had started forming all the tilt panels, which is what you can see here on the slab itself for the building. And that once those are formed and poured in place, those all end up actually being the walls for the building, which you'll see here quickly from October to November, just how much work goes into place once all those walls are poured down on the ground. And here in just 1 month, the actual walls were all tilted in approximately 2 weeks, and the structural steel then started arriving and tying all those walls together for the project throughout. And again, just to give a brief understanding, here's the 2-story classroom building with the admin and music suite kind of in the middle of the building, and the dining and multi-purpose rooms as well on the south side. By December, we had started the roofing. This is the lightweight concrete that you see here. On the classroom side, that's the installation on the roofing that's going into place. And at this time, also around the site, a lot of the grading started going into place. Here on the north side, you can see a lot of the storm structures, which carry away all the water on the project and underground being set and ready to be installed. By January, the roof had been completely sealed. This allowed us underneath, before the membrane was being installed, to start with the framing and a lot of the rough electrical, plumbing, and fire protection work to go on underneath, as well as the fireproofing, with all the structural steel on the project is coated in a fireproofing material for fire protection safety. And finally, the last aerial that we have included is from February. As I mentioned, some of that underground civil work, which is the storm, sanitary, and water to the project, is all underway. And here also some of the roofing membrane had been installed. At this point now here in March 1st, we've got about 80 to 85% of the roofing completed, and they will be done here probably by the end of the week, with just some detailing work to be completed. And that'll allow us to proceed on the interiors with the drywall and preparation for painting and moving forward with the finishes. So now, just to mirror some of the aerials, here I'm gonna just show some of the ground photos during construction from back in August through October, some of the grading that took place on the project, a lot of the underground work needing to go in for electric, water, and sanitary, all being installed and stubbed up through the slabs before we pour the concrete on the floors. On the bottom left, it's some of the tilt panels, those walls that I had mentioned, and you see on some of the aerials being formed with all the structural steel within it and being ready to be poured all in. Like as I mentioned, all the walls were erected within roughly 2 weeks. On the bottom right, it's just a nighttime picture of some of the pours. The majority of all our pours are done early in the morning. With the Florida weather, it just is conducive to the best quality for the concrete, as well as eliminating any back and forth with the traffic of all the concrete trucks that need to go in and out of the project site. Here's another nighttime picture with the panel actually being poured on the ground. And as I mentioned, then a large crane comes in and erects all those walls into place with the structural steel shown here on the bottom right, tying all those walls in together. And finally, the roof joists in preparation for the deck for the roof being installed here in the bottom right picture. Some more details of the pictures as we slowly close in the roof. This section here, we'd actually poured the second floor deck at this point. Here's just a detailed picture on the bottom right of the covered plate area, foundation, kind of the waterproofing that goes into place there with all the reinforcement prior to the concrete being poured. And this is a picture on the bottom right of that fireproofing material that I mentioned that gets applied to all the structural steel throughout the building. Some detailed pictures of the storm structures and piping that all go underground in preparation for us to move forward with the parking areas. On the bottom left, just a picture of the Duke Energy transformer being set into place. We already do have an energized transformer to the building as we wrap up some of the last electric rooms and push forward to get permanent power set to the building. And on the right, just a couple pictures of that rough work that I mentioned with the metal framing being placed, some door frames, as well as a lot of the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing all being installed above ceiling while work proceeds in preparation for finishes. So that is just where we're at today. We're excited here in the next few months to wrap up the project and turn it over to OCPS and just have another successful project.
Great, thank you, Freddie. So I know Board Member Gould, your time is running short. Is there anything you wanted to say to the group before I start reading off the Q&A? And Freddie, if you could advance the slide. There we go. Okay, maybe we already lost Pam. So the first couple questions are school questions, Christine, that are going to be coming at you, and then Christina, there are some road questions after that that maybe you can help with. Okay, so the first three questions, I'll just give them to you as a group because they're all kind of interrelated. There's a question, will VPK be offered? How do we submit kindergarten registrations? And will the school offer before and after care? And I can repeat those if you need them, Christine.
No, that's okay. At this point, I don't know for certain about VPK. That is something that I am looking at. I don't know that that is something that we will offer at a brand new site. So that one I still don't have a definitive answer on. The next one, kindergarten registrations, we're taking all the documents virtually. They can be sent directly to my email. I'm taking all of those. What I can do is if you don't have my email, I can put that in the chat box so that people have that, but I'm accepting all of the kindergarten registrations at this point. And the last one was about an after-school program. And yes, we will definitely have an after-school program. I am in the process right now of reviewing all the different options and talking with the other feeder sites about their programs, kind of getting some pros and cons before I make a final decision on which program that we're going to go with. And then once that decision's made, I'll make sure that that gets advertised so our parents will have the first opportunity to go ahead and sign up for a space in the aftercare program.
Excellent, thank you. And yeah, Christine, if you can drop that in the chat to all, already somebody's asking for it. And I just a few moments ago dropped in the chat a link to the map of the zone in case anybody still needs that. The next couple questions are traffic related. There's a question, I think Jay, you knew an answer too. The question is there going to be a light at the corner of Summer Lake, Grove, and Sidell? There's a concern about between the schools and the park. that there will be unsafe walking conditions. So I don't know, Christina, if you want to address that, or Jay.
Sure. I know we've got Clint on the phone too. Clint's actually the one that is designing the traffic signals. So Clint, you want to handle that?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. Hi, I'm Clint with AFCON supporting Jay. And yes, we did a traffic study for the area. It did indicate that a signal was warranted at Summer Lake Groves and Sidell Road. That project is in the e-permit process with Orange County right now. So that, yes, there will be a traffic signal.
Okay, great. And do we have any timing on that?
It is anticipated because of there's lag times of up to 30 to 40 weeks on the mast arms that it may not be open on opening day, but it will come as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you. And this one will probably be a good one for you too, Clint. Does Summer Lake Grove Street connect to the Watermark neighborhood, or will it be connecting at some point?
Yeah, the Summer Lake Groves does connect to, and that's the neighborhood to the northwest. Yeah, it does connect into there. So if you're in that neighborhood to the northwest, yeah, right there, then you'll be able to, you won't have to drive out to Sidell to connect to the road. You can kind of see the road in the picture right now where you can just come down and turn left there and enter the school. So outside of the neighborhood, you probably use Sidell. Inside of the neighborhood, you can just come straight to the neighborhood.
Okay, and if
Just
we
to
did
add
not,
to that,
yeah.
Lauren, if you don't mind, just to add to that, there is a pedestrian access off of Bismarck Palm, which is on the west side. Yeah, right where the pointer is now. So students would be able to come up, and we are improving the crosswalks at the next intersection to the right of where you are right now, to where, well, there as well. But there'll be pedestrian connections all along that side to be able to get the students in.
Okay, which is Watermark? Because I don't think that's not Watermark. So I think they're asking about kind of to the south. Does Summer Lake Grove go? Christine, am I right that Watermark is to the south?
No, actually, I think it's more to the north, and then I guess it would be further east. But I know what we've been talking about thus far. That's Lakeshore is what's been addressed thus far. Watermark is further down Sidell Road when you look at the map.
Okay, and so there's no direct connection.
Right where that marker is, I believe that's Watermark.
Okay, yeah, so it doesn't look like there's a direct connection. Okay. While we're still on this group of topics, one more question related to roads. Has there been any discussion of a potential pedestrian bridge to service both the new school and Horizon over Sidell?
While a pedestrian bridge wasn't analyzed, we did analyze 3 locations for signals. And one was at the Summer Lake Groves where we are putting in a signal. One was at the Summer Lake Groves North. It's the same street, it loops around to the north. That one did not warrant for a signal. And then also halfway in between, we investigated a warrant for a hybrid beacon, just a pedestrian crossing only. And that did not warrant per the Orange County guidelines. So the one that did warrant Summer Lake Groves and Sidell is where the signal is going in.
Okay, and Clint, will that get looked at again once the school opens as well?
Citizens are always welcome to petition Orange County traffic engineering to if they see a traffic issue, and it would be up to their process to look at that.
Okay, and someone.
I was gonna say we have looked at that, pretty extensively already between OCPS and Orange County Traffic. We did 3 different signal warrant studies, and only the one warranted.
And can you explain what that means, warranted?
So it's based on the MUTCD, which is the Manual for Uniform Traffic Control Devices, which is a national publication, and they set out a series of steps you have to meet to recommend putting in a new traffic signal. And so you go through those steps and you see, does it warrant, is there enough traffic? Is there a safety issue? And you put all those together and you meet this nationally recognized guideline. And we put those 3 locations through those tests, and the one that did warrant was Seidel and Summer Lake Groves.
Okay, and if Freddie, you could go back to that slide that shows both campuses. There was a clarification that Watermark is across Panther Lake from the elementary school. So as Christine was saying, I guess that would be kind of the top right. And so, right, is that Panther Lake right there? Hopefully I'm getting that right. But it does not look like there's like a direct shortcut from there or anything like that. Okay, a couple more school related questions. Freddie, for one of them, we could definitely use the site plan. If you could show where the covered PE pavilion is. Yeah, so if you can see it being circled there in the red, that's the covered PE area. It does have one. There's a covered walkway from the back of the building to that area. So yes, our elementary schools do have that as a standard. There's a question about whether how many students the school is going to open with. Do we have an estimate yet, Christine?
Yeah, right now I have been allocated for about 720 students. However, that's going to be contingent upon any of our families that are going to be grandfathering in from the feeder schools due to having students who may be in 5th grade. And then there's some other options too for students at Castleview who might be in the dual language program. And even because this area is growing so much, we do have some families that certain siblings or certain children will have been rezoned 3 times. So they have an option to go ahead and stay at their current school. So right now, I'm probably going to plan for around 675 to 700. But I'll know more as I start hearing from families whether or not they've decided to go ahead and apply for transfers to stay at their current schools.
Gotcha. And now there was a question about capacity, and I just want to explain because there's kind of two things. There's the student capacity that the school is built for, which is 837, but Orange County Public Schools don't have maximum capacities. If a student lives in the zone, they can come to the school, which is why on this plan, you can see there's like a green grassy area that says future portables. School's not opening with portables, and we don't know that it'll ever need them, but we do mark them on the plans for any new OCPS school so that if there becomes, more students than there's room for, that's where we can add space. Another question that I don't know if it's you, Christine, or I don't know if it would be Wendy, but they wanted to know what the daily schedule would be. Like, do we know open and closing times yet?
At this point, I'm going to plan for pretty much what the other schools have. Usually that's an 8:45 start time and a 3 o'clock end time, with students being allowed on campus at 8:15. But again, I have not sat down and done the master schedule just yet. We're not ready for that point, but that's my best estimate right now, is it would coincide with the other feeder schools.
Okay, great. Another question that I think maybe Clint might be for you. Do we happen to know if there are going to be school zone signs or decreased speed zone on Seidel with both the elementary and high school being there?
No, when you have a traffic signal, you typically don't use the school zone signs. It's usually one or the other. So because we have a traffic signal that's going to govern, the schools, the students crossing the road, you don't have those school zone speed signs.
Okay.
Hey, Lauren, this is Christina. We will have school crossing signs, though.
Yes. And crossing guards too, which is was Orange County Traffic provides those. So the crossing guards will be there during the school hours at the intersections adjacent to the school.
Can we show where those crossing guards are going to be? Are they at those 2 crosswalks, or where do they go? Do we know that yet?
Well, I
know
can
that
tell
it's
you.
like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Clint. Just to let you know, that is definitely up to the sheriff's office. We have coordinated with Bertus, who's the school crossing guard coordinator, and we've made our recommendations, but they are the agency that actually puts in the crossing guards. So there is a crossing guard that was recommended at the traffic signal.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. Now that goes through the questions that I can see. So let me reach out to my other panelists. Are there any questions that came directly to you? Because I can't see those. Nobody? Okay, let's give
Nothing for me.
Nothing for you, Clint? Okay, I just
Nope.
want to give everybody in the audience, if you, have additional questions, I want to give you another minute or two to drop them in. So, okay, here's a comment. All right, I live in Lakeshore and I know people will cut through our development to drop their kids off using Shorebird Lane and Bismarck Palm. Can we put signage up in our neighborhood to deter this traffic? I believe that would be something that the neighborhood would have to work with Orange County government on. Is that correct, Christina or Clint?
If it's a county controlled road, then yes.
So on Bismarck Palm back there. Christina, has this come up yet?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. Can you say it again?
Sure. The question was, so there's a walking path from Lakeshore into the school along Bismarck Palm, and one of our attendees is concerned about people just driving into the neighborhood and dropping their kids off there, and they wanted to know if signage can be put up in the neighborhood to deter the traffic.
Yes, that's something that we could definitely look into, and yes, that usually does happen. So we could start already looking into no parking signs in the neighborhood.
Okay, great. I'm gonna drop my email address into the chat as well as board member Gould's, so that if there are any other questions, at the conclusion of this meeting, or if you are watching this online and have questions and you didn't see it live, just go ahead and you can send questions to either myself or the board member. Actually, I think it's Pamela.Gould actually. Can somebody check me on that? I want to make sure Kelly, is it Pamela.Gould or Pam.Gould? Pamela, okay, I got it wrong, so let me fix it. Fixed board member.
Hey, Lauren, this is Jamie. I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Can we zoom in? At the intersection, I understand that there'll be a traffic light later on. Will there be crosswalks going across the road later on, or how does that work? Not there, but on the other side, going across. Yep.
Yes. Right where right where the highlight is, that's where the crosswalk will be across Seidel. There'll be one crosswalk so we can funnel all the kids to one spot and have one crossing guard there. But yeah, it'll be on that leg right there.
My other point is at the second, I guess it'd be this, maybe the third bend, on car loop, that really sharp bend, the bottom of the drawing there.
In the car loop, the parent drop off.
And I don't know if it's too late for this, but you see how you made that top loop on the, I don't know if it's the north side of, is it north on top of the screen, or is that how you have it oriented?
North is to the right, Jamie.
Okay, so west. So see that west loop has a little wider. On the West District Commander, and some of our schools that we have now, that loop that we have traditionally created, just south there. Can you put your cursor on it to make sure we got it right? Nope, the one south. I'm sorry, a little further down, where the cars are turning about, a little higher. Yeah, right around there. So that looks great on paper, but for some parents, it's really difficult to make that turn. So what happens is, what we end up having to do later on is we have to create a one lane around that loop because it's kind of tight. Again, I don't know if it's too late for that, but I don't want to have to fix that issue later on with traffic and stuff like that with the principal. So I was just curious to see if it's okay to extend it out a little bit.
Tamara, can you bring that up to Mo? We can have the design team look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Tamara. That is noted. Okay. Well, on that note, I'll go ahead and close out the meeting. But again, feel free to send any questions afterward. And look forward to seeing this school opened up. The next time we'll see you, I'm about to sneeze. Apologies. Sorry about that. The next time we'll see
Bless
you is that.
Bless you.
Thank you. Is the sneak peek. So our next event is going to be the sneak peek. That'll happen within 2 weeks of the school's opening date. Sometimes it says tied in as, you know, the Thursday or Friday before school starts. So watch out for information on that, and that'll be your opportunity to come and walk around the school before it officially opens. You know, COVID, presuming that COVID allows at the time. Okay, so thanks everybody for coming. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.